Hello. I am coming to you with a bonus episode because some things have been happening in my world over the past few days that were totally unpredicted and unprecedented, and I have a lot to say about it. Instagram on March 1st took down my Meta verified Instagram account that had over 36,000 followers and 7 years worth of intellectual property, content, memories, you name it, gone, just gone. And I am now 4 days removed, 3.5 days removed. And I've had two major breakthroughs. And I have a lot to say about this. So this episode is going to be for you. If you've gone through this might be a welcome perspective shift for you. If you haven't gone through this, please listen because I have call to actions for you that are going to save you a huge headache in a world of trouble. There are things that I'm kicking myself that I wish I had done. Even though, here's the thing, we can't plan these things, right? So there are things that I wish I had done preemptively. And then there are also a lot of things that I'm so thankful that I had in place and that I did to prepare for this sort of thing. Even though, again, it was totally something that was out of left field and we could have never seen coming. So buckle up, sister. This is gonna be a ride. Welcome to All In with Allie, the podcast for online business owners and entrepreneurs who are ready to create the life and business of their dreams. I am so happy you're here. Man, am I happy you are here. I have never been so grateful to have a podcast. I'm telling you, this has been one of the things that has kind of kept me off the ledge a little bit, because when the gravity of the situation hit me, which is this is seriously happening, Instagram seriously has removed my account and it's gone. And I don't know if it's ever going to come back. My next thought eventually was, well, thank God I have a way to reach out to you. Thank God I can tell you where I've been, because you can love somebody's account. You can see somebody's content every single day, but it really is out of sight, out of mind for a lot of us. Like I lost my account and I'm sitting here, I'm like, wait, there are so many people that I want to follow again. There are so many people that I genuinely love their content and I love, our relationship together or whatever. And I can't remember everybody, right? It really is out of sight, out of mind. And so if you don't, that has to be like the very first thing that we say here. And you've heard me say this before. No doubt you've heard other people talk about this. But if you do not have other ways to communicate with your clients, your customers, your people who want to keep up with you, immediately, go create something, create a backup account, grow an email list. You don't have to have a podcast like me, but at the very, very least, have another form of social media where you can put content and have an email list. Because the very first thing that I did once this happened is I was able to send an email and say, this is what's going on. You will not find me on Instagram. Here's the plan moving forward. Here's my new account. Here's what we're going to do next. And this saved me a lot of grief. But what I wanted to come on here and share with you in this episode, more than just sharing this story, because we've heard this story before. I'm not the first person who's lost their Instagram account. I certainly won't be the last, unfortunately. And I will tell you that story for the context. But why I am recording a bonus episode on this is because the breakthroughs that have come from this seemingly unfortunate situation have changed my life And I know I use that term a lot. I'm a dramatic person. I use very dramatic words in everyday scenarios. This is just who I am. You've probably picked up on that by now. And I know that I've said that a lot, but I mean it. I am not the same person that I was the morning of March 1st because of this situation. It goes so much deeper than Instagram. It goes so much deeper than the situation at hand. I can see the divine timing, the divine orchestration all up in this. And it's for me, for sure. And it's supporting me and it's shifted so much. But also, I wouldn't be sharing it here just for you to hear it if it weren't something that I know can serve you as much as it has served me. Because we're all creators here. We're mostly women anyway. I do think I might have a couple of dudes who listen to this. Shout out to the dudes. But most of us here are women. And we're business owners or we're aspiring business owners. And we're here to create a life that we're proud of and that makes us proud. And that serves us really well. And we're here to serve other people through our work and through our art and our message. And these breakthroughs that I've had will absolutely serve you as well. And you don't have to go through this situation to get the message. That's the thing. And that's why I wanted to say, like, whether you've lost your Instagram before or you haven't, or you never will, it's so much deeper than that. So first and foremost, thank you for being here. And let's get started. So again, I want to share the context of what happened just so you can fully appreciate the breakthroughs that are to come. So to paint the picture for you, March 1st, I wake up, I post something immediately because I was in the middle of a launch for my brand new Mastermind Rare. And it's funny because, and I will say, like, well, we'll get to it. Like, did I do something wrong? And the only thing that I did different that I wasn't doing prior to this day or this week was I was posting a little bit more. Not even necessarily for the launch. I was posting more for the aesthetic of my feed, which is so funny. And we're going to get into it because it's so interesting what you can get caught up in and a little lost in. And then you get humbled and you're like, none of that's important. But anyway, I wanted my feed to look a certain way. So I was like, okay, I need to post. Like the past couple days leading up to March 1st, I had posted up to 3 times specifically for my feed, which is so funny. And that's the only thing that I had done differently. So I posted, and then once I got to my desk and sat down to work, I pulled up Instagram and I got a notification from Instagram saying, your account has been disabled for going against community guidelines. And I saw it and I was like, no, it hasn't. That's ridiculous. What? Huh? And instantly I was like, this is clearly a mistake. It's a glitch. Like I did not panic. I didn't feel a thing. I was like, this is silly. Instagram's being a silly goose. So I like kind of went around it, and now, and obviously it's not letting me in my account. It pulled up my other accounts that I have, like my podcast account and my team account. I was like, okay, well, I know that you can appeal these things. And it said, like, if you think this is by mistake, go here and you can appeal it. So I did that and submitted the information. I was like, yeah, clearly this is a mistake. Let me have my account back, please. And within minutes, I want to say under 5 minutes, I got another notification pop up that said your appeal has been looked into and it's a final decision. We have taken down your Instagram and it will be permanently deleted. Like essentially that's what it said. So now the fear starts creeping in, right? Now it's like, wait. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is still a glitch because it said I was going against community guidelines and I've never gone against community guidelines. And if you've ever gone against community guidelines, and I have people who have messaged me who have shared this with me, you get slaps on the wrists. You get warnings, right? Instagram, they don't just, unless you are doing something so vile and so obviously not okay or dangerous to society. Hell, even if you are a danger to society, usually you get chances, which is so crazy. And so anyway, in my mind, I'm like, this is clearly a mistake. But my account is gone. I cannot access my account. So I want to be clear, because if you've followed my new account, which by the way, my new account is, it's Allie Reeves, ITSALLIEREEVES. It's Allie Reeves. That's my new account. So if you're following that new account, you've seen, like, I've posted some content, and you can see my attitude about this is pretty solid. I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I've come a really long way, and we're going to get to how I got there. But I want to be very clear with you. I had my freak out moment without a shadow of a doubt. Okay. I am a human. So I did have a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, what does this even mean? What do I do? I've heard of this happening. And also a few people have reached out. They're like, you've clearly been hacked. And I'm like, no, this is Instagram. Like, I got the email from Instagram and I got the notifications. It was all on Instagram. It's all Instagram. It's all Facebook. It's all Meta. I'm Meta verified, by the way. And side note on Meta verification, this is really disheartening and very frustrating, because part of the allure of being Meta verified is that you get Meta support, which means that if anything goes wrong with your account, you supposedly are able to get support from a human, which, if you've been on Instagram or Facebook for any amount of time, you know that is impossible. It is nearly impossible to get a human on the phone unless you are spending money and running ads with them, which I currently am not. And it's been a long time since I've done that. So my next thought was like, oh, I'm Meta verified. I should be able to get support. But to be able to access that support, you have to be able to access your Meta verified account. So since my Meta verified account is gone, I couldn't connect to the Meta community and the Meta support, which is so asinine and frustrating, infuriating, and just like, you know? So anyway, that was a big waste of money. But anyway, so I had my freak out moment. And this is one of those reasons, again, like, add it to the list of 1,000 reasons why I'm such a proponent for having access to mentorship, whether that be a mastermind or a coach or a community of people that you trust that you can lean in on. Because I do have colleagues, I do have friends who are creators in this space. And obviously I have friends and family, but I didn't know anybody personally that had a level of account and business on Instagram that had lost their account, or nobody was coming to mind that I could reach out to. So luckily I'm in Unity Mastermind, and I reached out there. And I'm so thankful, because I genuinely, I was in freak out mode. I was on the cusp of really losing my crap. And I put it in there. I was like, y'all, my account's gone. This is what's happened. And Cassie Howard, if you follow Cassie, she's incredible. She was like, this exact thing happened to me, verbatim, the exact situation, you know, when she appealed it, everything. And she was like, I ended up getting my account back hours later. And Instagram essentially was like, oops, we removed your account by mistake. Sorry for the inconvenience. And she got her account back. So that was really helpful to hear, because in my heart, I was like, this is a mistake. I don't get in trouble on Instagram. Like, my content is women empowerment, which I realize could be a threat to society, depending on who's running the world. But, you know, I mean, come on. I don't even talk about politics, right? So clearly this is a mistake. So that made me instantly feel a lot better. And my account's still gone and I have no way to appeal it. So now I need to go through my day because I've got calls. I've got my first rare mastermind call to lead. I have a private client call to lead with one of my best friends. It was time to put this aside and handle business. So I was able to do that. And I was really proud of myself how I was able to compartmentalize and do what I need to do, because my best friend who I had a private client call with that day, she reached out to me later that night and she was like, did this happen before our call? Like, I feel so bad that you didn't tell me, or I didn't know. And I was like, yes, but that I'm here for you, like I'm here to support you. You're not here to support me in this moment. So I was proud of myself for that. Anyway, long story short, the account is still gone. And I will say I did try one more thing because I do believe this could be something that does work sometimes, but it hasn't worked for me yet. So if you find yourself in this situation, there are a lot of things that you can do. There are even businesses that you can hire that will support you and that will help you assist in getting your account back. And I haven't gone that far yet, and I'll share why. However, my friend Maria, who I had the call with, she had followed this account where this happened, and she got her account back and she shared what she did. And what she did was, remember I said Instagram had sent me, actually it was Facebook sent an email. And it's so interesting because I didn't even see it. I think it went to spam. It is the most nondescript email you've ever seen. It says it's from Facebook, and it's like 2 sentences. Hey, we've removed your account due to, going against community guidelines or whatever. Peace. It's like, thanks, Facebook. Okay, so anyway, I didn't even see this come through. But this creator who this happened to, she was like, I responded to the email and I sent a picture of my ID and I was like, this is a mistake. And she shared that she only had to do this one time and she got her account back within literally minutes. But she had heard that sometimes you have to keep emailing back if they don't get back to you. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try that. And I did. And I responded and I sent a picture of my, and by the way, side note with this too, make sure this is a legit email and make sure it's from Instagram and Facebook, because there are so many spam companies out there who do this very same thing and try and make you think, like they'll send an email trying to make you think that your Instagram has been taken down when in reality it hasn't. But people will fall for the email and they'll click, like usually the fake company will say, hey, we've taken down your account, or we're about to take down your account. Click this link if we've made a mistake. And it's a fake email. So that link fishes you somehow and gets your information and can like somehow get your info or get into your Instagram. I don't know how it works. So you really have to be careful of that. But this was a legit email and I responded to it and I have not heard back. Okay. So that's the situation. Now, since then, what I have done is by the end of the day on March 1st, I had my new account up and running and I sent out a couple of emails. I made the best of it. We're still doing this because I still don't have my account. But I was like, well, let's do an Instagram deactivation party. Here's a list of offers that are going to be on special until I get my account back, because I fully expected to have my account back by the end of the day. And I don't. So that party is still going on. So if you want more information on what those offers are, if they're still available, you can DM me. But, I was making the most of it. I was like, whatever, we're going to be okay. It's fine. And I just want to say this too, because I don't want to forget. I have to say, and I've said this in my Instagram, that if this situation only happened to remind myself that I am loved in this space and that I am supported and that I really do have a community of people who love and support me, even if this all happened just for that, it's already been achieved and it would have been worth it, because the amount of you that came through for me, that responded to the email as upset and infuriated as I was, those of you who have shared my new Face or Instagram account, or sent a text or a Voxer, or just followed the new account, the amount of you who have come through for me, it has been humbling. It has touched me so deeply. And and this has really been the biggest thing that's got me through, that has gotten me from really, really stressing and freaking out about this, because I have felt so loved and supported by so many of you. And I will never be able to express how grateful I am for that, truly. Because I knew, like, you get into the throw of things, right? You get used to what you're doing, and I know I'm making an impact. I know I'm putting out things that serve people. And I do know that. And so many of you are so kind and let me know this when specific things are helpful for you or whatever. But I don't know. It's really shown me that, like, wow, I've really built something that matters here. And I've known that, but it's just really affirmed that. And it's allowed me to lay my head down at night and feel okay and feel like it's all going to work out. As a matter of fact, it's working out better now than it was before, which is the crazy plot twist that nobody could have expected. So thank you to each of you, to everybody, and just listening right now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to say this too, to those of you that don't want to follow along on the new account. Thank you. Don't follow along. And I mean that truly from the most sincere place. And that's been what's been so cool about this, because I said this in my email. No, I said this on the first post that I made on my new page. I was like, thank you for following along. Like, it's one thing to be a follower that I've accumulated over the course of 7 years of having this account. But I've grown and evolved. I've rebirthed hundreds of times since starting this account. So some of you may have been following along and we're just not aligned anymore. Or maybe like you don't really want to follow along, but you were following along, you never saw my content or whatever. So it's like the people who went and sought out my new account, I know that you actually want to be there. And that is the coolest thing. And those that don't, that's so perfect too. And I would much rather you not. Like, if you don't want to for whatever reason, please don't, because it doesn't help anybody, right? I don't want you following anybody that's not serving you or making you feel the way that you need to feel to do your work at the highest level. So if you just want to listen to this podcast and never follow me, that is so perfect. And I thank you for that too. Okay, so now let's get to the breakthroughs. There's two major ones that have just damn near taken me to my knees. They have been so crazy. Okay, so the first breakthrough that I want to share with you is, upon further reflection, I believe I fully spoke this into existence. Now, did I say I want to lose my Instagram account? No, that's not what I said. But in so many other ways, in a way, I spoke this into existence, and I am taking full responsibility of that. And here are some examples. So leading up to this moment, I had been launching a few different things. Like, one thing that I've been launching that you've heard me talk about is how to create killer content that sells. I led that call on February 23rd, 2024. And prior to that, I was launching it. And one of the things that I talked about again and again and again, in not only in the promotion of this program, but within this program, one of the points that I drove home that I believe with every fiber of my being is that you do not have to have a large account to be successful online. How many times have you heard me say that? Within the promotion of this program, but then even outside of it, I've said this for years. This is a true belief of mine. Why? Because I've seen it in so many different scenarios, and I know this to be true. Some of the most successful people that I follow, that I'm friends with, have relatively small accounts of a couple, thousand people, maybe 5,000, maybe 10,000, but again, relatively small accounts. And I'm talking the level of success, like multi-million-dollar businesses, some of them even 7-figure months have this level of account. So this is something that I preach all the time, because this is an excuse that I hear a lot of people give. Or this is something that I see a lot of people waste so much time and energy on, or project a limitation that doesn't need to be there onto themselves, which is, I can't be successful because I don't have enough followers. The reason why I'm not making the amount of money that I want to be making is because it's a follower problem. If I only had 100,000 followers, which you would think somebody to create a 7-figure plus business, or especially somebody who's making multi 6 figures a month or 7 figures a month. If I asked you, how many followers do you think that person has? We would all safely assume 50, 100,000, a million, right? Like we correlate the amount of followers to assumed success, but it couldn't be further from the truth. Not only that, okay, so this is something that I've been preaching so much recently, right? And then this is so crazy. February 29th, Leap Day. Okay, the day before I lost my account, I had a podcast interview, which you will be hearing in the next couple weeks, with Dr. Andrea Morningstar, whom I love. And I'm so excited for you to hear this conversation. And this is something that we talked about again. This is another point. And I leaned into the mic just like this. And I said, are you listening? Did you hear what she just said? Because she has, I think, like 5,000 followers or something. And she's had $1 million month. She's hitting a level of impact and income and life, joy, freedom, all the things that we want, with comparatively and relatively an insanely small audience. And even when she just, like, she's been in the game now for a couple of years, but when she first got started, I mean, I think she had her 7-figure month, maybe with under 1,000 followers. I could be wrong there, but definitely, because now she has 5,000 and it's been a couple of years in. So this is a point that I drove home less than 24 hours before I lost my account. And one thing that I know about the universe is, if you say something enough, if you say that you are a leader or a believer of something, the universe is going to give you opportunities to prove yourself every single time. And I believe this is to show that, yes, I not only can I talk my talk and sound really good and make you want to buy my offer because I'm telling you that you can be successful without a large following, but to be a true match for something, to be a true match, to be a leader for a specific movement, a specific message, you've got to walk your walk. You've got to be a practitioner. You have to be embodied in this. And I truly believe, and I believe this because I've experienced it enough times to see in hindsight, oh, I can see so many times this has happened in my life. Like, okay, you really, like, if you really want to be the next level leader for this specific thing and to really show people what's possible, here is your opportunity. Here's your prove it moment. I'm going to take away your account. What are you going to do? Are you going to fumble the ball or are you going to throw it for a touchdown? Right? The amount of times this has happened in my life where it's been like, prove it, show it, go first. And what an opportunity that is. And this is just a few days in hindsight. I don't even know what else is to come, right? Like obviously hindsight's 2020. One day we're going to look back on this and be like, oh my God, remember how that was like this thing never could have happened if it weren't for losing that account. I never would have been connected with this person where this thing happened, or I never would have gotten the idea for this offer that helped this many people, or whatever the situation is. We haven't even landed on that. And I'm already extracting the gifts from this pile of frankly shit. If we're all being honest, okay? So that's the first one. It's like I fully walked into this. I set myself up for this. This was my opportunity to prove that no, I believe this so much. I'll show you. I'm going to show you how I do this myself. And then I'm going to be able to support you even more from coming out the other side of this. Okay. So that's breakthrough number one. So the first thing that I want you to reflect on is, are you being challenged in a way that at first glance, it feels like a headache? It feels like an inconvenience. It feels like you got delivered. You know what it feels like? It feels like somebody ding dong ditched you, and you go and you look on your porch and there is a flaming pile of shit on your porch. That's what it looks like. At first it looks like that. And then you go and you stomp it out and there's like $1 million, or there's like a thing of gold. I don't know, but that's what I've been telling everybody, because I've been reached out to so many people. They're like, I'm so sorry this is happening. And I'm like, thank you. But genuinely, this feels like already an insane gift in the most unassuming of packages. Like, I never would have picked this out myself. I never would have specifically asked for this, obviously, but damn, it's already like, I'm already getting it, you know? So remember a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about the shit filter and how we look through life we look at everything in life through a specific filter. And if you're not careful, your filter can get a little more clogged up with shit, right? Your mood, your whatever, where you look at everything and you're like, that's going wrong. That person's getting on my nerves. That's a mess. That's never going to go anywhere. I'm never going to go anywhere, right? Where everything you start to look at just has this poop hue to it. And it's not pretty. We get to wipe off the lens at any chance, any opportunity. We can always take off the lens and wipe it off and restore and put on a new filter to where we can look at the exact same situation through a different lens, which, as we've all heard this, like, if this was happening for me, why would it be happening for me? And this is where that breakthrough came from. Okay. So that's the breakthrough number one. Breakthrough number two. This came to me Saturday. And when I realized this, my jaw hit the floor. So this goes also with the prove it, the universal, like, okay, you say you want this thing, prove it. Be careful what you launch. Be careful what you put in your bio. Be careful what you ask for, okay? Across everything in life and business, because you are a masterful creator. You are going to get it, even if you don't realize. Again, like, it's going to come in a package that is unassuming. But this is one of the things that I can see so many opportunities in my business. When I say that I want to be this specific person for women, right? When I say, like, I want to support you in creating this specific thing, or when I'm launching a program or a mastermind called Rare, meant for women who dare to go differently and zig when people zag and refuse to settle for the status quo. When you put things out into the universe like that, and you say, I want to call people in, I want to lead this very specific thing and message to be a match for that, you've got to be a match for that. You have to match that frequency. And I'll notice when I launch things, I get these opportunities. And again, they're rarely pretty, right? They're if it was easy, we'd all be winning the game. So, all of that being said, I think, like, one thing is to note is I've been launching, like, right around the time that I was launching How to Create Killer Content That Sells, I launched my Rare Mastermind, which I already told you what the vibe of that is, right? To approach life rare, like, not like the status quo. How can you show up as that person that refuses to settle and who will do the rare thing in that moment? So I'm having that opportunity, and I taught how to create killer content that sells, again, on February 23rd. And that evening, I sent out an email, and that program is part of my membership. So I have two memberships. I have All In, the membership, and I have LFG membership. And as part of the membership, for LFG specifically, you can come and go as you please, but you can only get access to programs while you're in the membership, obviously. So I wanted to go ahead and give a preview of what's to come, like what program that I'm going to be launching next. And I have not breathed a word of this to anybody but this very specific email list, my LFG and my All In, the membership email list, to give them a little preview. So that night, I went to my list of prospective programs that I know I'm going to be relaunching this year. And I was looking the list up and down, and I landed on one. And I was like, I don't know why, but I feel like I could really speak to this. I have plenty of examples where I've done this thing myself. And for some reason, this feels like the right move. Like, my gut was like, this is the next program that needs to be taught next. Okay. And again, I don't have the outline. Like, I don't even have a sales page up for it yet. But I put it in the email and I said, I'm pleased to announce what's next for you in this membership. And the next program that you can expect is Alchemize. If you don't know what alchemy means to change the substance of something from one thing into gold. How to shift and experience, right? Like, obviously alchemy is actually like chemical reactions and it has to do with metals and whatever, but we use it as like a more of a concept. So alchemy and alchemize in the way that I will be teaching it is how to turn any situation, good, bad, ugly, and anything in between, into gold. And bless my little heart, I thought I had plenty of life experience and content to serve you well. And God was like, let's give her something current. Let's give her something good, something that's really going to get some attention. Let's throw her this Hail Mary and let's see does she fumble it or does she throw it for a touchdown? And not the next, I'm sorry. So I announced that on the 23rd of February, and March 1st, I lose my account. And I am given the mother gift of opportunities for online business owners to do something with it. How can I take this very cruddy situation that nobody would want, and how do I turn this into gold? So I get to freak out, and I get to cry, and I get to honor my feelings. And then I get to say, now what? Now what do I choose to do with this? How do I play this hand that I've been dealt? And I said something in my stories yesterday because I wanted, and this is so frustrating. So I'm recording this on a Monday. Yesterday, obviously, was Sunday, and I wanted to share everything that I'm sharing here. I fully intended on sharing in an Instagram live because it was bubbling out of me. I was like, I've got to share this because I was having these breakthroughs back to back, and I was like, I've got to get this to you like immediately. And I went to go live, and Instagram has blocked me from going live. I guess my email or my phone that was connected to my old account is obviously connected to the new account. So it knows that it's me. So because I've been previously removed from Instagram, I'm blocked from going live on Instagram. That pisses me off. Like, it's one thing to do me wrong on accident, but like to continue to reprimand me for no reason at all. It's frustrating. Okay. We can be two things at once. We can be frustrated and sad and scared and powerful all at the same time. And that pisses me off. So anyway, it wasn't the right time to record a podcast yesterday, which is why I'm doing it now. But anyway, so I couldn't go live. So I got in my stories and I was like, here's the thing. Life is going to life, right? Like, we are being dealt cards all the time. We cannot control, like, we are co-creators in this space, which means that we cannot control the circumstances that life is going to serve up to us. We can't control the cards that are being dealt to us. But where the co-creator comes in is we get to control how we play the cards and how we react to certain situations. And what I said yesterday in my stories is, it doesn't even matter the cards that you're dealt. You get to play them how you want to play them. So what I mean by that is sometimes we get dealt really shitty hands and we play them as if they're shitty hands, right? We throw them away. We're like, shitty hand. I want to bypass this. I want to numb out. I want to pretend this isn't happening. I want to just I don't want to extract the lesson from this. I just want it to go away. I'm going to throw I'm out of the game. Like, take me out of the game. My hand is shitty. Okay. That's an option. And then there's other times that we have a really good hand and we're like, yes, I have a really good hand. I'm going to play this. I'm a boss. Look at me. I'm going to lead through this. I'm going to capitalize on this amazing opportunity. Thank you for this incredible opportunity. I'm going to play it like a royal, I've been gifted a royal flush and I'm going to play it like a royal flush, right? Beautiful. But here's the thing. There are also times where you still get dealt a shitty hand and you can bluff and you can play it like a royal flush, right? You can have I'm not going to think of a crappy poker hand right now, but the worst of the worst poker hand in your hand and still play it like I have 4 of a kind aces right now. Come at me. That's the power that we have. And that's alchemy. That is exactly what alchemy is. Alchemy is transforming something into gold, a good situation or not. That's what it is. And that is the power that we all have. So I was sitting on the couch and I didn't even realize this until yesterday, right? Like a full day after this situation. And I saw the word alchemy on something. I think the TV actually. And I was like, oh, I'm launching Alchemize next. And then it was like, boom, holy crap. No freaking way. So this is what I mean when I say, like, I spoke this into existence. I fully set myself up for this. I said, God, universe, I want to be an example. Serve me up the opportunity to show people what it looks like to turn shit into gold, right? Like, give me this gift. I said that not in those words, but with my energy and with the action. The action was, I'm launching Alchemize, and the universe said, how much are you a match for this? How many people do we send to this program? Because based on how you handle this very shitty situation is going to dictate how much of a match you are to lead this message and to teach other people. And the same is true for you. You want to create a program and you want to attract in 10, 50, 100, 1,000 people in it, you better be prepared to walk your walk. That is what we mean when I say you have to be a match for something. And this is why so many of us, we end up getting less than, or what we perceive as less than ideal results. Right? We launch something. We say, I want to teach women how to be empowered. And I'm going to create this empowerment program and I'm going to get 100 women in there. And then as you're leading up to it, you're getting these opportunities to show how empowered and powerful you are. And you're fumbling the ball because you think, or you mistakenly forget that things should be easy for you because of whatever story. And we all do this. We forget, right? And that's the thing. If these tests came in pretty little boxes where we saw it, we're like, ooh, a test. We'd be nailing it. We'd all be billionaires. But that's not how it works. So if you're launching something and you're dropping the ball left and right on the embodiment of this principle that you want to lead people through, God's going to say, okay, I love you. And until you start being more of a match for this, the launch is not going to go how you think it should go. We're going to send you a few people that are a match for this message, or that's going to help support you in further embodying this message of empowerment. We're going to send you some people that are going to make you feel very disempowered. So hopefully you're going to get the message. And you get to go again and again and again and again and again. Opportunities abound every single day. But when you pray for growth, when you pray for quantum leaps, shifts in timelines, when you pray for new, you better be prepared for a rearranging. And sometimes it's not pretty. The last time I went through this, I had to hire new people on my team. We had to fire my tax people, right? Like, rearranging, growth hurts. When you're growing muscle, you're sore. And this is what it feels like in business. There are situations that hurt and that are hard, but they are chiseling you. They are sharpening you. They are growing you. But if you let it take you out of the game, if you say, ouch, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm out, there's no growth. We fumbled, but we get to pick it back up. So do you see why? Do you see why why I've been able to kind of shift this for myself and kind of come out the other side, it's clear as day. And here I am. And listen, it's not lost on me. I'm speaking more opportunities into existence. Cause it's like, okay, okay. I fully believe I'm now a match for more of what, I don't know. Maybe it's those of you who are listening are like, I need to get in alchemy. Maybe it's something else, but the tests aren't going to stop coming. They're always going to come. And we always get to get back in the game. So if you, I just want to be clear, like if you're reflecting on something and you're like, damn, I can so see now in hindsight that was an opportunity to demonstrate my embodiment of this thing. And I dropped the ball. It's okay. You're going to get more. Like, pray for more. But when you pray for more, be prepared for more. And it's never going to come the way that you think it is, ever. And that's part of the fun. I have to say, this is going to sound so weird, but I'm just going to say it. I have not felt this alive regarding my business in a really long time, because things have felt easy and just kind of like robotic in a way. And it's also been really interesting too, because as I mentioned this earlier in the episode where I was like, I was posting 3 times a day for the aesthetics of my feed. And what's so interesting, this is another kind of like mini breakthrough that I had, is one of my intentions for this year with my brand was to present myself and present my brand in a way that's elevated, in a way that feels more true to who I am right now. I've had seasons of my brand where we're just doing what we can do, right? And it just served me very well. And I've shared this, like my best year in business, 2022, where I blew it totally out of the water, was when I was pregnant. I did not do one brand shoot. It was like all selfies, all like random reels, and graphics that I made in Canva. And it was so perfect. It worked out beautifully. So I've had seasons where I care a little bit more about the aesthetics and the presentation, and other seasons where it's like, it is what it is. Like the message is there, get the message. And now I'm in this place where the feeling of wanting to elevate my brand and my presence specifically, and maybe call in more of an aligned client. Like, I set this intention in the beginning of the year. And just in the past few months, I've done 3 brand shoots. I've invested money and resources in the elevation of my brand. And I've been so in love with the manifestation of this, with the aesthetics of my feed, and just like the messaging and everything. I feel like I'm just really, really proud of it. And lately, like in the past couple weeks, I've been this weirdo where like I'm going and I'm fangirling over my own page. Like, I love how I've been promoting my stuff, and I love like the photo shoots and the way that they've turned out, and how much fun I've been having with Rebel and Rare, and how to create killer content, and, you know, like all the things that I've been putting out, and the way that I've been promoting, you know, specifically on Instagram. I'm going and I'm looking, I'm admiring. I'm like, look at you. Like, I'm so proud of you. It looks so good. Like, if I was a stranger looking at this feed, I'd be so proud. And I'm like, I've done that more than ever. And I've been a little attached to it. Right? I've been a little like, ooh, it's fun, and it gets to be fun. And then poof, it's gone. All of it. Not only the branding and the pictures. I mean, I obviously still have the assets off of Instagram, and I can put them back up. But the way that I curated it over the past 6+ months and total 7 years, the evolution of my brand, these are the things that make me sad. Okay. These are the things that make me sad. the evolution, like being able for you or somebody who aspires to do, somewhat of what I do, to be able to go and like scroll through 7 years worth of my growth and see how I got started when my business was called Bustle and Buzz. And I was talking about social media tips in like the most watered down, basic way you've ever seen, to then creating and launching my first program, to then shifting to coaching, to just all the iterations of me. It's gone. My highlights of my growth and my boys, like that also makes me really sad, because I had highlights for both of the boys. And some of it I have on my phone, but some of it was like, it was a story. And I don't think I thought it'd be there. You think it'd be there forever. Gone. So that's a bummer for sure. And maybe, you know what? I'm still holding out that I could get it back. We're just a few days in. I'm not going to lose my hopes yet, but I said this to somebody else earlier. I'm at the point now that if I do get my account back, I think I'll still I'll use this new one as the main account. I really do. It just feels right. It feels new. It feels like a fresh start. It feels like such a beautiful opportunity, not just for the universal concept of it all and the prove it concept, but just like having more aligned people there who are actually seeing my content. I'll take 1,000 aligned followers any day over 1 million misaligned. Any day. Give me the opportunity to prove it again and again. I will show you. And I will. Like if I got my old account back with 36 whatever thousand followers, I will use the current one. It's Allie Reeves over the other one. I'll be happy to have my content back. So anyway, here are my call to actions for you. I have a few, okay? My first one for you. Create a backup account. It's just good to have. It's good to have, okay? Put a little bit of content there so people know it's you. Share it every once in a while. Create a backup account. Okay. Second call to action. Back up your content. This is my biggest regret out of the whole situation. Apparently, Instagram has a way to actually back up all of your content through Instagram. And you can do this in your settings. And I forget the exact steps, but if you just Google how to back up content on Instagram, it'll walk you through step by step. Super easy to do. I didn't even know this was a thing, but I'm kicking myself because of course, like it should be a thing. And I should have thought about this before. And here we are. So even if I have to go through this just to get you guys to back up your content, that's worth it to me. Please, like, have somebody on your team do it. Just take the time. Take the time to do this. You will be so glad you did. One of the girls, Cassie, actually, she shared that this is like a task that she delegates to her team every single week on like a Friday or something. They go in and they download and, get the week's content and they put it in a drive or something. So, okay, there's that. Email lists. I've said it once. Saying it now and I'll say it again. Emails are not dead. Email lists are not dead. And as a matter of fact, they are more important than ever. Okay. If this tells you anything, if you get one thing from this podcast, let it be that these mistakes happen and you never see them coming. Okay. I wasn't doing anything quote unquote wrong on Instagram. I was not disobeying community guidelines and I still lost my stuff. And I don't know if I will ever get it back. And the amount of people that I've talked to that have come through where this exact thing has happened is insane. So these things happen. We do not put all of our eggs in somebody else's basket where they can just boop, delete that basket. So I'm so grateful that I do have a list, and it's just, and a podcast. You don't have to have a podcast, but the more ways that you can, God forbid something like this happens where you can say, hey, this is the plan. Here, come here, find me here, the better. Because if I did not have an email list, if I did not have a podcast, I would what I would have had to have done is create a new account and then text any creator that I know and beg them to share my stuff. And luckily, people are sharing my stuff anyway, but luckily, I also have the added benefit of being able to talk to you at mass and at scale here and in my email list. So those are your call to actions. And it's going to be okay. I think you can tell I'm more than good. As a matter of fact, I'm fired up about it. I'm game. I'm here for it. No matter what it looks like, no matter what the game looks like, I'm winning, I'm losing, I'm sitting on the bench. I'm game. I'm not going anywhere. And I know that's how you feel about your life and your brand and your business as well. And I have found that the more that you're able to say this out loud, but then back it with action when you are tested, the more that you are gifted. I know the amount of people, the amount of aligned followers that are going to come from this, that are going to flow into my world. I've already made money from brand new people that were not following my old account, but they've come from somebody else and they're like, hey, tell me about these Instagram deactivation things and specials, and have already bought from me. Like, it's already happening. I feel the new energy, and I'm here for it. Even if it wasn't there, I'm here for it. And I know that you are too. So this is us in our power. This is what it looks like. We cannot control the cards that we're dealt, but we can control how we play them. And even if it's a shitty hand, we get to play it like the best hand that's ever been dealt. And in my experience, when you're able to do that, you end up creating results that are a match to that better hand. That's where you take an unassuming gift, an unassuming shitstorm on your front porch, and you turn it into gold. This is alchemy. And we are alchemists. So if you would like to join me for Alchemize, I think you already know it's going to be a banger. I promise you it's not just going to be a reiteration of this story, because I have so many different examples and I have so many actionable strategies and perspective shifts that this is going to make you so much, like, you're already so powerful, but this Alchemize is here to support you in activating it, right? Like, we all have this in us, but this is going to activate you. This is an activation program. So we'll put the link to that in the show notes if you would like to join. And if you would like to follow me on my new account, I would be so honored. It's Allie Reeves. We'll link that too. If you feel called to share it, that would be amazing. But a follow, or even not a follow if you don't want to follow, is gift enough. Thank you for listening. I pray this served you well. And thank you for the love and support. And even if you've just flown energy my way, I have felt it. And it's why I'm able to share this message today. So thank you. I love you. Also, this is a bonus episode. We have a brand spanking new regular episode live this week with Shoshana Raven. If you want to also hear some powerful woman content and what she has done with her brand, you know what? Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, let's see. Shoshana, Dr. Grund. And then on this Thursday, spoiler, I am sitting down with an interview finally with my mentor, Melanie. These are 3 women back to back that have had $1 million months. Melanie had $1 million day. Isn't that crazy? And it's just like, it's not even the money that matters. They are a match for that level. And it's by doing the things that we're talking about here today. And I've learned so many of these, and I've been reminded of this from these powerhouses. So please go listen to Shoshana's episode. I think next week we're going to have Chelsea Diane, And what she's done has been incredible. And she's actually been the inspiration behind my LFG membership. And then we have Dr. Andrea Morningstar, and then we'll have Melanie. So we have lots of incredible, incredible stories and conversations to come. I'm so excited. I'm so grateful. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. I love you. I'll see you here next time. Bye.